So we mentioned fitness, we mentioned nutrition, and then this is what works in longevity, right? So what else, like we can include here that, works, and definitely we have like lots of studies, lots of facts that like if people will follow this, if they will do it, they will definitely be on the right path to a longer and healthier life.
Absolutely. You save the best for last, which is sleep. So
Mhm.
if you think about it, Leah, we spend a third of our life as humans in our lifespan. We spend a third of our life sleeping. Uh, and uh, and don't you want to spend that third of your lifespan sleeping in good quality? And so sleep is very important today. Yeah, today we have all the right tools, bells and whistles, from wearables that can detect your sleep patterns to room temperature control devices to alarm systems and even medications and supplements that can help and aid with sleep. And I think we need to all be proactive and add it as sort of an agenda on our day-to-day, in our day-to-day calendars to prioritize good sleep. And that entails falling asleep at the right time every night and then waking up at the right time. So your sleep window is unaffected, and ideally not eat or drink any stimulants at least 4 hours before bedtime, to make sure that the room temperature is right for you and that you track your sleep data so you can ensure recovery and an optimal heart rate variability, which is a function of how well your nervous system is balanced, through wearable data output. It's a very cost-effective way of sort of achieving longevity and health span. Start with sleep, and if possible, then focus on your fitness and your nutritional goals, keeping in mind these, the things we talked about, focusing on sleep, building muscle, creating sort of an endurance program for your health and fitness goals, avoiding toxins, and eating a whole plant-based or whichever diet that fits your needs. And lastly, get tested. Go seek a comprehensive longevity or precision health assessment that will tell you how you're doing based on all these different interventions that you seek.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you. And yeah, as you mentioned, yeah, like this world of longevity is getting very overwhelmed. So many companies appearing on the market, so many products. And I'm sure everyone will be very interesting to hear your opinion about so what doesn't work.
Right. Yeah, so for what it works, as we discussed, so be fit, sleep well, eat healthy. What doesn't work are a lot of things. And unfortunately, in this market of longevity today, we're seeing sort of the wild west of various products and services being pushed by great salespeople. And the reason behind that is because, consumers are fed up of the traditional models. They want new products, services, solutions. They want convenience. They want online shopping. They want celebrity-backed products. And so we're seeing in this consumer-focused economy, various products and services emerging with false claims or based on studies been published that may have problems with their methodology or their results, but they're using those studies to back up their claims. And we're seeing this a lot in supplements and a lot of the biohacking related tools. I'm a big believer that we should empower our customers and our consumers with different solutions. So consumers need to be aware of their limitations, but at the same time, if it works for somebody, whether it's a placebo effect or a true effect, it's up to the consumer to decide. And then it's up to the regulator to decide how they want to regulate the industry, which is now poorly regulated, especially for some of these nutritional products like supplements. So what would I do when I'm faced with, social media ads, celebrity-backed products and services? I would be very careful. I would read the conflicts of interest, if any, of some of these celebrities and or products and services. I would stick to the basics. So if there is a product that's going to help me be more fit, or help me sleep better, or help me with my nutritional goals, then I would try it. I like experimenting. If it's beyond this scope, if it's going to promise me 20 years of life, or if it's going to promise me that it's going to cure my diabetes or whatnot, I would be very cautious with these sort of exaggerated claims. So I hope that gives sort of a basic baseline thought process for consumers to work with when analyzing a consumer product in today's sort of free market. And obviously, you want to buy a product that is somewhat regulated, or at least can be commercialized in certain markets like the U.S. market. You don't want to buy something that is poorly regulated, or it's finding its ways into consumer homes, which can lead to problems like some of the appliances and technology products. I mean, they can cause overheating, they can cause bodily harm. We're seeing these today with some of the biohacking products. So consumers need to be very careful. They need to analyze the product very well. Look at the manual, look at the source of the product, the credibility of the manufacturer, and let's hope that the regulator will step up and make sure that consumers are protected.
That's very interesting. When you said overheating, it reminded me a lot of products in the market I see these days, like a red light therapy, but sometimes they do red light different mats that you can like lay down or like cover yourself. So,
Yeah,
or different like infrared saunas, etc. So yeah, but I would say it's a very, as you said, it's a wild west. Like if the person doesn't have a medical background or scientific background, it's very hard to figure out what they're buying. So your advice would be just to go for big names, big companies. Like what would be your for someone who doesn't have a medical or any other science, background? How to recognize?
right. Because it's a poorly regulated industry and a lot of these products are direct to consumer, I think the consumer needs to make an informed decision about shopping for these products and services, just like what they would do when shopping a TV or grocery or other home related products. I think they need to make an informed decision. They need to analyze the product, do their market research, maybe follow a few reputable celebrities in the field of longevity to see what they have to say about it. A celebrity-backed product does not always mean that it's the right product for you. And we've seen this across different products and categories. I would caution the consumer, but at the same time, I want the consumer to be to have options, right? And to be able to augment the basic pillars of longevity that I mentioned through these products. Like if it works for them for fitness, sleep, nutrition, mental health, and so on, whether it's placebo or not, doesn't matter. But if it works for the consumer, then let the consumer decide.
Yeah. I used to be a guinea pig. So I would attend a lot of conferences during, usually 5 to 6 to 10 conferences a year. And there is a big expo hall and lots of different supplements. And I used to buy and try, at least, like I would try 5 companies at least. But then I started feeling that I'm turning into guinea pig. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want to be a guinea pig.
Right.
I found the best way, as you described, to get tested and actually see your biomarkers, see what your body needs, and just correct it with the simple vitamins that have been for many, many years on the market. So I find like
I
this
agree with you.
basically the best way.
I agree with you. I think we should stick to the basics. You also don't want, because a lot of these products services are expensive, including a longevity assessment at a doctor's office. So you don't want to spend a large proportion of your household income towards things that may not work, right? That your body may just pee out, especially in the context of supplements, where most of them have sort of false claims and don't really work for their intended use, which is longevity, right? So I would absolutely caution the consumer. It's still a very nascent field. It's poorly regulated. We don't have sort of global standards on how we define longevity practices and products and solutions. I want to continue to be fit independent of my age.
I also see that today we have also lots of interesting treatments like stem cells, then IV with the NAD+. We also have exosomes, any other treatment. So what do you think about it? Do you think, is it too soon? Is it still, like there is a certain, like gray area? So people, they need to be like a little bit, careful about it. So what's your opinion?
Yeah, so let's call these groups of therapies all under the umbrella of regenerative therapies. And we're seeing great results in using regenerative therapies for, say, local related pathology like tendon injury, degeneration of the joints, repair of degeneration of the joints, and so on. We're also seeing individuals sort of reversing their biological ages after administration of some of these regenerative therapies. We're also seeing an improvement in some symptoms of chronic diseases after administering these therapies sort of more globally, IV rather than locally. Unfortunately, we don't have sort of a randomized control trial or head-to-head comparison between these therapies and traditional therapies. So a lot of the evidence is anecdotal based on a case series of individuals that go to a clinic or a practitioner and they see great results, likely because of a combination of therapies like exosomes, peptides, and others. So where are we? I think we're very early, in the very early sort of research and development stage of these regenerative therapies. Certainly, the North American market is way behind other markets, like Japan and Korea and now the Middle East, that are at the forefront of commercializing these products and services for the cancer market, neurodegenerative market, the wellness market, and also the wear and tear sort of sports injury related market.